Hi and welcome to the channel. Thank you for tuning in if you're new over here, and if you're an old-time viewer, then thank you always for supporting me. This is a new type of format that I am going through right now to create videos because I do not exactly have too much time in my hand, which makes it very difficult to make videos, write scripts and then edit and then find clips, whatnot. It takes a lot of time. I don't have that much time. So I'm trying to do in this new format, and hopefully that will allow me to be a bit more active on YouTube and I can produce more videos like that because I do want to talk about a lot of games. So with that said, today's game is BlazBlue Entropy Effect. Entropy Effect maybe. I'll just call it Entropy Effect from now on. This is a new game that actually came out this year itself, and I stumbled across it randomly. I think it was through that Discover Q on Steam, through which I found this, and I just bought it immediately because this game is the closest thing to DMC that I played in recent times. Last year, I think, or maybe last year, it was Hi-Fi Rush was there, and it was pretty close, but it wasn't still exactly. It just did not have that punch to it, you know. So, anyways, enough of that anime references. Let's get back into the game itself. So, the game is actually a roguelike or roguelite. I don't know the difference properly. I'll just say it's in the rogue genre. Amazing game where you can pull out a lot of combos and stuff, and it is really fun. Of course, being a roguelike, you need to keep on doing the levels again and again to get the ending, and I did get the ending. I think it took me around some 20 hours or something, and I'm still going in for more every now and then to like just play the characters, man. The characters are really well done. There are about 10 characters maybe. I did not count actually. I should have done the research on my bad. It's really my bad. But there is a lineup of characters. As a matter of fact, this is actually formed based on the BlazBlue fighting game that's there. I never heard of it before. This is the first time I came across them, but it has a wonderful cast of characters and it's really fun to play. In the meantime, I hope that I can put up some sort of a video on the place somewhere on the screen so that you can see what exactly we can do. And apart from that, I'll actually play out some of the things as I speak so that I can show you what exactly it is. As a matter of fact, let's just hop in quickly into the game and then I can show you what exactly this game can do. As I do this, let me just explain a bit of a context of this. So the story of this game, the context is basically just those typical, I don't know if I can call it typical, but yeah, it is about the individuality versus one common consciousness versus individuality, and that is the topic over here. That is the thing that goes on. There's a party that wants to go for collective consciousness, and then there is the party who wants to keep each person's individuality as it is. The story section of this game plays out in these sections where you act out as this cute robot and interacting with different characters that are present over here. You won't be able to see too many characters right now because I have already completed the story. This is this post game, but yeah, you can do the story part over here. The main gameplay part though is actually when you enter into the machine. This is kind of Animus kind of thing, if I have to say it like that. Not exactly the Animus where you're living in the past of your ancestors or anything like that, but it's kind of a simulation where you choose different characters. I complete the game in normal mode, and I'm trying a hard mode where I'm bumping up the entropy levels so that I can, you know, just feel the game a bit more. I'll just play it on normal so that I can show things properly because I haven't had too much experience with the hard mode right now. But essentially this hard mode over here works just like in Hades, the heat levels in Hades. If you have played it, you know how it works. So on the screen, you need to first select one of the characters. I've unlocked everything over here. Again, I'll show some of these things later on, but yeah, there's a better way to show you this, what exactly can be done. At the same time, you can actually see the controller over there. I've put that up so that you can actually see what kind of inputs I'm putting in over there. So these are all the characters that I have used right now. You can see there are multiple characters. I will explain this later. It's an interesting system that governs your progression in this game. It means that there is a proper progression system which is actually rewarding in this game. So now for starters, these icicles that you are seeing right now, these are upgrades that I got later on to the rogue systems. And already you can see what I'm doing over here. So basically these are things that I've upgraded over here. I can jump, and then that shoots out some arrows down there, and if I double jump over here, this is something that only she can do, by the way, this air flip. You cast a shadow, which again through attacks does more attacks. And on top of that, if you jump, you can do this. If you do a down input and then press X, the normal attack pattern is there. There's also a down attack pattern, this which acts like this. Then there's a special which goes on like this. And then if you hit wide, it does this. But if you hit down wide, it changes. And again, all these moves you can actually do it on air. So essentially, you can go. As you can see, like, you can do a lot of shit in this thing. And apart from that, there is an upward too. This is a different thing again. So input-based combat system. This is something that I really like, and it is really absent in a lot of games these days. Everyone goes for that God of War style of combat, where they just put some of those, I don't know how to put it, quick access buttons, I guess. Even in Black Myth Wukong, we have those spells binded like that, right? So this is the thing that that games these days follows, but I prefer this kind of system a lot more, and I've been missing that a lot. And finding this game like this, I just went on crazy with this thing and played it straight without playing anything else. I stopped playing everything when I finally understood this game, which I'll get to it later, because that is a bit of a disadvantage that this game has in comparison to the others. But yeah. So now let's just do one thing. Let's just hop quickly into a new save file so that I can show you how exactly things go over here and how the levels play out. In that way, you can actually check out how things work. I will be narrating over it so that you can understand how it goes. And let's just hop right into it. Okay, so here we are in a new fresh save file entirely. I've pushed out all the previous initial dialogues and things that plays on so that I can just get into it. So essentially, you just need to go towards this area, and then it'll move you into a character selection screen where you get to select one of the characters over here.
Once you've selected a prototype, hold unlock prototype to unlock it.
Well, never mind. I did not want to unlock this, but well, this will do too. So essentially, this is the way how the game starts, and then you need to move on to the next screen where you get to different kind of options to the levels. So here, of course, you'll get the first level, so it'll just give the first thing, that is potential. Potential screens are where you unlock your abilities. At basic level, your abilities will be very limited. Once you get all these potentials unlocked, though, things start to ramp up after that. As you can see, these are the few things that I can do over with this character. A dash, and then this and that. Nothing much going on over here. You can do a lightning thing, and she can actually hold up in the air. I forgot her controls for that, but yeah, there you go. And then in X, then she just does that, and then if you put an X again, those lightning rods actually hit stuff like this. So let me just quickly finish this off, and then you can see what happens in the next screen over there. So here it is, the potential screen. So as you can see, you get 3 options on per screen, on per clear, and not necessarily every time it's not necessary that every time you will get a potential over here, but you get three stuff over here, and from these 3 you can understand and read and understand the descriptions of these, what they do exactly, and then based on that you can make a choice. So like this one, initially I can only dash once, but this one, after I get this one, I can dash 3 times. Again, for this I can summon a storm for here, which is, again, the input has changed. If you can see, normally if I press Y, I summon a thunder right there, but now if I press up and Y, then I can summon a storm, a whirlwind basically, that will damage enemies. So let's just go with this one so that I can be a bit more flashy and show you exactly what it is. Okay, my bad. Her ability is not the storm. It was the other one that does that. So again, this time electricity. So when we come into electricity over here, And in this way we can actually get to one of these skills that we want. This is basically just like in Hades, like you get different kind of skills that you can select, and it'll come handy when you go through anything that you do. So yeah, in this way you just need to keep on going through levels and throughout, and then you reach a boss. There are 4 bosses in total, actually more than 4 bosses, because in the first 3 levels the bosses keep on altering themselves. There are 2 bosses for each of the 3 levels, and you get randomly a different boss every single time. Not necessarily every single time, but you understand how roguelikes work. And the final boss always stays the same, so there's that. Okay, so now let's talk about the progression system that I was talking about, because the progression system is done pretty well in this game, which kept me engaged throughout the game. Otherwise, trust me, I'm not that big of a fan when games do not do progressions properly, and if this game wouldn't have any proper progression, I may have dropped it earlier on. So let's just talk about it. So initially, the first thing that you can do over here is that you can have different perks for it. So you can see I have 6 perks that I have unlocked. So you can implant mind crystals, that's what they call over here. So this one deals more damage to elite enemies. Elite enemies means the bosses. In here I have equipped the skill damage increase by 30%. It means the different things that we did there in the first character, that I did that blade stuff, those, and in the second character the lightning things that I did, those things get enhanced. This one is just straight up attack damage increase. So in this way there are a lot of these, although the problem here is that most of them are really not all that useful, at least not that the way I see it. The ones that I've equipped right now are the ones that are most useful, and I don't know why would anyone go for this. But anyways, this is one level of progression, and the second level of progression is, you can see over there, max HP, it says 100%. Initially, when you're level 0, you do not get to do that at all. You need to upgrade yourself, and upgrade yourself, you can see down over there, it says mine upgrade. Let's see. Yep, yeah, my arrow works. Mine upgrade over here. You need to do this in order to get it to level 50 and your max HP increases. Otherwise, your max HP is less, but it never really feels too lacking, but it's still, there is some level of upgrade over here. And also these slots are only upgraded when you upgrade your levels, so there's that. That's the first basic level of progression. Where things really become absolutely awesome is when you come into the character selection screen. So here's the thing. Those characters that I showed you before, you cannot use those, you cannot reuse those unless you do some sort of specific challenge. We have a boss rush challenge over here in this game, in the screen, that we can do, and things like that. You can reuse those characters there once, but for the most part, if you go into a new run entirely through the levels, then you cannot use the same character once again. So you have to choose a different character every single time. So, but the thing is, when you select one character, let's say I select her, you once again get the list of all the previously used characters, except the only ones that are inactive are herself, which is like, basically you cannot use those. In a moment, you will understand in a moment. So what happened is that you can see the list on the side over there. So essentially, if you select this character, you'll actually get those abilities right from the get-go. So essentially, I normally prefer going with Jin, a stronger version of Jin. So I'll get the frostbite, time stasis, multi-ice spikes, and all those good stuff. And it's not just one character, we can select 2 characters over here. And normally I go with, excuse me for that, normally I go with number 11. So I get all those abilities from number 11's run that I did over there. These are all these things that I have collected on the runs with these characters, so they get carried over. You have a lottery system working in it for which abilities you can carry over to your next run, but essentially this is how it happens. Although there are some terms and conditions too. For example, that multi-ice spikes that you see over there and the fire spirits that you see over there, it's not necessary that they will activate immediately, because there are levels for those, right? So the thing is that if you collect the basic level of that thing in this run, then you will get the full level of that full level, as in the ones that is already there in the previous run. Let me and again, if you go into the potential after that, and you can just fight through everything like this. And apart from this, you get an LT and RT ability too, or if you're on PlayStation, in that case it'll be probably L2 and R2. So LT and RT are the specific abilities of those characters that you get. These are not necessary to be activated. You will get it by default. Every character has one specific ability that gets carried over. So if I press RT, I get a ball that does automatic fire like this. And there's another ability over here that by default gets activated. If you do a perfect dodge, then time gets slowed down and you become invulnerable. Nothing can hurt you during that. And again, this thing again from Jin. So yeah, this is the progression system of the thing. It is very interesting and it is really fun to play around with different characters that we come across throughout our playthroughs. It's highly rewarding to actually have different characters and play through all of them and then save up those characters, because they are really useful, and again keeps things really interesting. Oh my bad, hold on, abort. And where the real deal really becomes helpful is when you get into the challenge runs that I said about. Challenge run as in, like, you have two challenges over here: play Mind Trials and Mind Challenges. So Mind Challenges is a boss rush, but it's not a continuous rush. You just have the option to have a take break. So however, if you use one character, you cannot use the character again. And then straight up we have the default classic boss rush, play Mind Trials over here. You can go solo. There's an online mode too. I did not try that thing. And you can use one of these powerful types. You'll get all the abilities that you have unlocked through in that playthrough of this character, and then use that character to do the boss rush and try to complete it. So that's the stuff of the game, the gameplay stuff, which is really good. I cannot say enough of how good this game is, how great it plays. But now let's get into the problems of this game, which this game has many. First and foremost, that thing that I face immediately in this game is just freaking hard to understand a lot of things over here. Too many technical stuff, I guess. It's not the right term, but I just don't know how to put it. But there are too many terms that just does not make any sense. And this also, if you remember, you saw those potential tree over there, right? It's really hard to understand sometimes what exactly each thing does and how the progression works. So it's a bit difficult to understand this game, and that was kind of demotivating to me at initially. And also the menu styles are not exactly too great. It isn't exactly too attractive. It doesn't fails to capture my attention for a long time. It's kind of a pain to actually look into it for too long either. So that is one of the major setback of this game. It's just hard to get into it initially, but once you get into it though, it just becomes something really amazing. At least personally for me, it was. I just could not drop it until and unless I finished the game. After finishing the game, I stopped playing it more regularly now, which brings me to the second drawback of this, is that there is no real fruit benefits to actually play it after you complete the game. Now, if I take example of Hades, a game that came out quite a few years back, I completed Hades on 10 runs at around 20-hour mark again, but after that I had still more things to do, and I kept on playing that game on and on, and I have clocked in about 100 hours in that game, and I'm still going in for more. The reason is there are more things to be unlocked, and there are more interesting things that are going on. This game, I haven't seen anything, or maybe still now I haven't understood what exactly is going on. One common thing that I can immediately point out is this thing. So in Hades, when you increase the heat levels, you get more currencies, for lack of a better term, more resources. Let's say resources. You get more valuable resources, which helps you to unlock more character dialogues or more weapons and weapon aspects and things like that. Here, I don't know what I'm getting. I really don't. Increase entropy, what does that even mean? I just don't know. There's some percentage going on down over there, but I just don't know what that does. There's no real reward for me to go through all this other than my own personal self-motivation or self-inspiration, no, self-motivation to just go out there and play the game because the combat is really great. I'll just keep on saying that again and again. The combat is absolutely awesome. I miss this kind of combat. I kind of hate the fact that we do not get games like these more often. Well, not that maybe I don't think it used to be that common either, but I really wish we get more fast-paced action games like these. And like, I love Souls games. Everyone knows I'm a From Software fanboy, but I love these even more. And well, anyways, off topic. So I was talking about these disadvantages of this game. So yeah, those two are the two things that I did not like personally, and the art style also. It's okay, kind of. It's nothing too special, but it just works. So there's one thing. And third thing that I will say is the level design of this game. The levels, if I can, I'll put it up. I put up something over here so that I can show you. The levels are there. It's just there. There are different elevations at times which are interesting, and there are traps also at times which are interesting. But considering how things are designed in let's say Hollow Knight or in Hades, even in comparison to those games, this is actually really lot less in comparison. The only thing that is really carrying this game is the action, the fluid action, and the combos that you can do over here, which is again not bad. It's really great, but I think it could have benefited a lot more if we had proper level design, better level designs, and yeah, just better level designs and better encounter designs too. And lastly, I think the weakest part of this game is the story. Now again, I'm not much of a story guy, so it didn't bother me, but if you are, then you're watching this, then beware. The story is really nothing special. The execution is just barely fine, okay, and there is nothing else to go about with it. There's no complications in the story. There is no twists or turns that you may expect or that you may not expect, or there's no depth either in the story. Like again, the topic of individuality versus common consciousness is something that can go really deep, that people can go really deep into, and this game really does not delve too much into it. It's just the story is just there to provide you with a minor objective to play this game through its different levels and play it again and again. Which is the way I like it normally. But if you are more of a story kind of guy, then there's that problem. Oh, and a footnote quickly, I just need to point it out. The basic enemies are not exactly that hard. The bosses are great though. Again, the bosses are also not that hard, although in harder difficulties they do get some extra moves and a bit more better tracking, which makes them a bit more difficult, but they are not exactly too hard, but they are challenging enough. The basic enemies are pretty basic, and I think the game could have done a bit more with them and make them a bit more better, a bit more aggressive. So that is it for BlazBlue Entropy Effect. I hope I was able to explain it. This is a complete new type of video format that I'm doing, so I do not know how well it is. I hope I can improve further into this. I know I need to improve further into this. I hope I will. But as for the game itself, it is one of my favorite games that I have played in this year, and I'm having a lot of good time playing this. I don't know if this thing will win anything in the Game of the Year. I doubt it. I think there are a lot of other games that may actually overshadow this one, even in the indie category. This will come in the indie category itself. But I really suggest you should actually try playing it. It is really great. It is not that complex. Initially, it can feel complicated, but you can settle it. If I can understand it, then you can definitely understand it, so you don't need to worry about it. As a matter of fact, I think this game, let me just check. This game should have a demo, right? Well, no, it doesn't have a demo, but that's a topic for another day. So anyways, highly recommended that you should try this. It's not that not very expensive kind of game also, so really excellent game to try out, and I hope you do, and I hope you enjoy while playing this. So with that said, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.